What's up, guys? It's Ticker's back with another video. Today's video, guys, I want to talk to you about Bitcoin. Now, they're calling for the bottom on Bitcoin. They're saying Bitcoin might have already bottomed out. Now, you're seeing it come back down to 19,000. You remember back in June, it got as low as 17,500 or so. So they're saying it might have been the bottom for it, and it might come back to that bottom and maybe bounce up off of it. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. And we're going to check out this video and see what they got to say.
Active wealth advisor Eddie Gifford. Eddie, welcome to the show. So I wonder if we might see any further problems with Bitcoin, or has it bottomed out right now? Are we at the bottom?
I don't know if we're at the bottom, but it's definitely behaving well from the standpoint that if we look back over the last couple of months, we've seen, throughout this year, we've actually seen growth stocks and Bitcoin kind of be correlated with each other almost on a one-to-one basis.
Yeah, like you've been looking at the growth stocks in any this year. You got your Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Tesla. They're all down like 30, 40, 50%, 60%, even Meta. Look at Meta, it's down like 70, 80%. It's right there with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's also down about 70 or 80%. You're starting to see a bit of a correlation between like big tech or growth stocks and how Bitcoin performs. Like, it's just right now, at least in this environment, that you got to risk off really dictating where money is going. And risk on assets like cryptos, like growth stocks, are going to be beaten down pretty hard over the year.
So what's happened in the last couple of months, in September, when everything just went free fall in the stock market, Bitcoin actually held up. And then as it's continued to kind of climb back out of the hole, Bitcoin is still remaining strong. So where we've seen so much volatility in the stock market, we haven't seen near that volatility in Bitcoin. And so that...
Boom, yeah, that's a good point too, though. I mean, Bitcoin's been sitting at its bottom, let's call it. I don't want to call it the bottom because I don't know what the bottom is, but it's been sitting at its current bottom for about 2 or 3 months, I think. 4 months. It's been sitting down there for a while, y'all. Like, it's just been trading at about 20,000, man. It's been holding a little bit above, a little bit below that 20,000 range for quite some time now, and it's just been staying there. Like I said, you got the rest of the stocks, man. They're just steady falling, man. They're taking the escalator down, just meow. But Bitcoin has just been this number right here, man. Just good. It's just been good, man. I don't know. It's weird to see it's cryptos, man, just being pretty steady, and they're not being as volatile as people make them out to be. Historically, like Bitcoin's never been this stable. You know what I mean? It's weird to see Bitcoin, or even any crypto for that matter, just be trading like just normal, just holding a range.
That's a good sign. That means that we could be forming a little bit of a foundation here. We would definitely be holding here from the standpoint that we think that there is some upside trajectory here. Obviously, there's always the chance that things could go lower. There's always the chance that things could blow up and everybody runs away. But I think what we're seeing almost a little bit of a flight to safety that hasn't been happening in United States treasuries. I think that there's a lot of issue in general with trust related to what's going on at the Fed and with Congress in general.
Oh, the Fed, man, it's not that we don't trust them. Let's be honest, we don't trust them. But let's just keep it real, we don't trust them. But the issue is they're not being exactly clear all the time. Like, I remember when the first rate hikes were coming in, they were being like, "Oh, we're not going to be as aggressive as everybody thinks we are. We're only going to, do small rate hikes now, just see how it goes, and then maybe we'll do a little bit more." And then inflation still kept coming out hot, and they're like, "Okay, don't worry, y'all. We're still going to do our thing and make sure we're not going to crush the economy." And they started getting more aggressive, and then the market started freaking out. And they're like, "Oh no, don't worry, we're not going to keep this up forever." And then they got more aggressive. Now they're just like, "Look, we're going to have to crush the economy. We're going to have to put us in a recession to get rid of this inflation, okay? There, we said it. We're not going to use the word recession. We're going to use, like, economic pain in households, whatever the hell Jerome Powell said. Just, politician doublespeak for, hey, we're gonna fuck up the economy. Just gonna be honest, we're gonna mess up the economy. So that's off rip right there. And then Congress, I mean, does anybody trust Congress? Do you trust Congress? Because I know I don't. I mean, I remember during 2016, man, like you had this big populist wave of people just, like you had Bernie Sanders on the left, you had Donald Trump on the right, just, and they were really striking chords with blue collar Americans, man. Just, there's a big populist wave in the country right now because people are just fed up. They're tired of struggling. They're tired of making almost no wages. They're tired of living paycheck to paycheck, man. It feels like the politicians aren't doing a whole lot to really help us here or help us there. We still don't have any of the basic, amenities that most modern countries have. We're just blowing money everywhere, and everywhere but here, where we most need it, where we need it the most. So I can get the frustration, and I think you might end up seeing a lot of this populism come out into Bitcoin because think about it this way: Bitcoin is not controlled by anybody. Bitcoin is completely decentralized. It's immutable. It cannot be changed. You don't answer to any government, any politician, any bank, any big central bank. Nobody. You own the Bitcoin. You can trade with anybody else who owns it. End of story. Nobody can tell you what to do with it. Nobody can tell you how to spend it. Nobody can tell you where to put it. It's all yours. Always be yours. It is the digital form of wealth transfer. And when people start to realize that, you're going to see a big adoption, man. You already got this big, like I said, populist streak in people, and they're just, when they actually put their energy into finance, and when they actually realize they can do that with their money, that a lot of people probably don't even realize they can even do yet. Oh man, you want to talk about mainstream adoption, buddy? You're going to see so many people hop aboard the Bitcoin project, man. The technology is it's the future, man. I'm telling you. Even if it's not Bitcoin, man, there's going to be some crypto out there that everybody's going to end up adopting, man. Because you already got the government trying to push out like central bank digital currencies, whatever, man. It's the way that they realize, like, the fiat dollar, man, it's on the way out. Like, there's no future for it, man. It's just going to end up being more and more inflation like we're having right now. They might do it a little bit slower over time, but it's still going to be inflation. It's still going to be the same old thing, man. But you're going to see, I think you're going to see a lot of adoption. A lot of people flood into Bitcoin.
And so I think that people are starting to say, hey, like, I'm going to start buying this Bitcoin stuff instead. Is kind of a store of value or maybe an inflation fighter. Obviously, it remains to be seen, but we've liked the action that we've seen over the last couple months when we're comparing it to your general risk assets.
General risk assets being like your growth stocks and just your typical tech stocks, stuff like that. I think you got more potential out of Bitcoin than those, honestly. I mean, stocks only can move up like, what, 20, 30% on a good year? Like, if they're really, like, beaten down, they run back up. And Bitcoin does, like, what, compounding 100% just about every year since it's been incepted. So, I mean, it's a pretty easy choice for me.
What are your thoughts on the Fed's impact on Bitcoin right now? So we learned last week they raised interest rates by 75 basis points. They said they would slow it down maybe at the next meeting or the meeting thereafter. We're also expecting CPI data coming out soon.
And you already know CPI data is going to be horrible, y'all. Have y'all been to y'all's local grocery store and seen food prices and stuff, man? Gas prices are still high. Like, have you actually seen the prices for anything come down? Like, let's be honest. Have you actually? Like, let me know in the comments if you've seen the prices for anything go down anywhere.
Yeah, the CPI data is most likely going to come in high again. We're in a situation where it's definitely going to take some time to get the inflation under control. Inflation has been a big issue across the board for pretty much any type of risk asset, period. But I think...
Yeah, because inflation brings the interest rates, and interest rates makes it harder to borrow money. And when it's harder to borrow money, growth stocks and stuff can't borrow as much money and can't grow. It's that simple.
That as people are learning more and more about how Bitcoin works and how it can be anti-inflationary over the long term, I think that more people are turning toward, hey, wait, this at least it deserves a spot in my portfolio. You know, we look at it as kind of like a alternatives and we'll give it anywhere from a 4 to 20% weighting depending on the client's risk tolerant.
So they got it at 4 to 20% of your total portfolio. I'll be honest with you. Mine's somewhere in the, I think, 15% to maybe 20% range, somewhere in there. I think it's like 15%. It's up there. It's quite a bit. I got quite a bit of Bitcoin, and as you can probably guess from me watching this video, I'm very bullish on Bitcoin. I am. For the long term, absolutely. I think Bitcoin is going to be a big powerhouse in the future, man. It's going to be, if not the future of the current world currency, it's going to be a big contender. That's for sure. At least for store value, or for so many of the other projects that are happening, like the Lightning Network, making the transactions faster and stuff, man. The space is ever evolving, man, and I think Bitcoin, 10 years from now, will look a lot different than Bitcoin did today, or even 10 years ago, for that matter. It's just steady evolving. That's just the way cryptos move, man, and it's really exciting. I just feel very lucky to be born into this generation I am, and having a chance to really get behind the latest technology that's going to change the world.
So we've been finding it as a good opportunity within portfolios, and it's been behaving opposite of everything else lately, so it's been a good diversifier. But I think that until we get, like the congressman was just speaking, until we really get some clarity on a lot of things, it's going to be a while before we get that widespread adoption that can really, really push Bitcoin up to like big new highs.
It'll come. It's probably going to take a couple of years, but when it happens, man, it's going to happen fast. When you know anything about technology and how adoption works, it starts off flat for a while, so it picks up a little bit, but once it gets to going, it just turns to a snowball rolling downhill, man. It just, gone. By the time you even get a chance to catch it, it's already gone. You've already seen Bitcoin take over the world, and that's what's going to happen. If we do see that scale of adoption, it'll happen like that, like that. And so you got to be ready. You got to be in it. You got to be in it for the long term. In it to win it, as I like to say. You got to be in it to win it, y'all. If you want to be in these stocks for long term, these cryptos for long term, you got to be in it to win it.
Eddie, do you think that the midterm elections will have any impact on the crypto markets or Bitcoin one way or another? And if not, what will be the catalyst for Bitcoin's next swing up or down?
I think that you could get an appetite for risk in the event that we have red basically take over both, just from the standpoint that we know that there's not going to be a whole lot that happens that could make things good or bad potentially over the next couple of years, because we're fighting with the president in that scenario, which tends to be a good thing for markets in general. So I think that now if we stay status quo, it's just going to be one of those things where we're just still kind of waiting to see what is going to happen. So I think that really right now what we're watching is, hey, can we get back over that $22,000 level and hold? And if we do that, we could definitely surge to new highs.
Oh yeah, for sure. Stocks with Josh was pointing this out the other day, that Bitcoin on the golden ratio likely to head back to an $82,000 new high if the trend holds and it doesn't break a new bottom. Again, this is all contingent on Bitcoin not finding a new bottom. If it doesn't break below that 17,500 bottom that it hit a few months ago. So keep an eye on that level. That's 17,500 or so. That's the level to watch for Bitcoin. And if it comes to that, bounces back off of it, I can easily see it going back up to 20,000. And then if it can find support there and hold it, I can easily see it going back up to 25, even 30,000, man. You can just see a 60-70% gain in Bitcoin like that. So keep your eye on it, man. Even if you don't really care for cryptos, it's good to watch it and just get an idea. It's a good sentiment gauge for the market, because if Bitcoin's losing a bunch of money, the whole market, and just sweeping across the market, is just going risk off. And if you see a bunch of money flooding into Bitcoin, they're getting more bullish on the overall market, and they're starting to be willing to take a little more risk. So overall, Bitcoin does act as a very, very wonderful sentiment gauge for the market. So if nothing else, at least keep an eye on it. Put it on your watch list so you can at least see how the market thinks for the future.
But a specific catalyst at this point, again, it's just going to be clarity, taking away some of the fogginess related to everything that's going on. I just don't see that happening for the next 3 to 6 months because there's just so many bad things that could happen, so to speak.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off right there. But yeah, guys, this has just been my take on Bitcoin and what I think of the future of Bitcoin and how it's behaving right now. Again, keep an eye on that price level and look to see where it goes in the future. But I really enjoyed putting this video out for you guys. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'm really looking to put out another one tomorrow. I'm not sure what the topic is yet, but maybe one of you lovely people can suggest me something down in the comments. Take care.